Many people have asked me for quite a while now what's my preference when it comes to action camera, what's the best action camera for 2025. And for me it's a little bit difficult to tell you what the best camera is, because it's all about your preference and what you like. I have cameras from DJI, and I also have camera from Insta360. I have the Action 5 Pro, which is the latest from DJI. I also have the Ace Pro 2, which is the latest from Insta360. And I also have the Action 4 and the older Ace Pro from Insta360. So when it comes to overall image quality, what's important for me is the image straight out of the camera in normal mode, full auto. Of course you can film in flat color profile and get a much better look, but then you have to do some grading, and you don't have to be professional because there are lots you can use and do some adjusting and tweaking. But for me it's all about making it as simple as possible and get the best image quality possible. And I want a camera that can adjust to the different scene and a different light and doing a good job. That's most important for me. And that's the biggest difference between DJI and Insta360 if you ask me. When it comes to the Action 5 Pro, it struggles as soon as the conditions are changing. When you have good lighting condition, it looks absolutely fantastic. It's a 10-bit camera, but the Ace Pro 2 and Ace Pro seems to do a much better job when it comes to adjusting to the different scene, and that's what's most important for me. But when it comes to telling you what the best action camera is, it all depends on your taste and what you like. Some people like the colors from the Ace Pro 2 and some people like the colors from DJI. I always say that straight out of the camera in good lighting condition, the normal color profile from DJI is probably the best. But that's the big issues with the Action 5 Pro. That's the HDR look, the aggressive HDR look. It looks kind of strange. It looks a little bit plastic. Of course you can do some adjusting, setting down the sharpness and do some with the noise reduction, and also of course record in D-Log and get rid of that look, but then you have to do much more adjustment. On the Ace Pro 2 and Ace Pro, I usually always record in normal color profile with medium sharpness, and I set usually the ISO to 800 or max 1600 just to get the best overall image quality. And I do think that the color profile looks really nice on it, and you have different presets you can use when it comes to vivid color, standard color and all of that. And when it comes to the lens, that's where I think that Insta360 has the big advantage over DJI. You have that Leica lens from Leica, which is nice glass, overall really nice glass. It looks just good. And of course you have 8K up to 30 frames. Both of these cameras can record in more or less exactly the same slow motion, 120, 4K and over that. But I usually don't use that. I usually film in 30 frames or 60 frames if I want to slow down my footage a little bit. And when it comes to build quality, they are both action camera, both are solid build. There are some differences. Of course, you have a flip-up screen on Ace Pro and Ace Pro 2. You don't have that on the DJI. When it comes to size, you can see that DJI is a little bit smaller than the Insta360 camera, but that's fine for me. Weight, it's more or less exactly the same. The big advantage with DJI camera is probably battery life. It's better on this camera, but it's also really good on the Ace Pro and Ace Pro 2. When it comes to internal audio, it's more or less the same. A little bit advantage on the Ace Pro 2 in my opinion. It sounds a little bit better with internal audio. When it comes to external audio using a wireless mic, DJI has the win there. You can use the DJI Mic 2, which connect perfect to the Action 4 and the Action 5, and it sounds actually really good. But overall they are excellent camera, all four of them, so it doesn't matter which of them you have. If you want the absolute best, I do think the Ace Pro 2 is probably the camera I would pick if I'm gonna pick only one, but the Action 5 Pro is also a good camera. It has some issues. I don't like the overall look sometimes. It looks a little bit strange in HDR looky, aggressive HDR look, and your face can look a little bit plastic in some scenes. It all depends on the light. But for me, it's ease of use. That's the most important thing. Ease of use, straight out of camera, that's really important. So I'm going to show you some clips from earlier today where I recorded some clips with all my 4 camera, the Action 4, the Action 5, the Ace Pro and the Ace Pro 2. And I used actually the Flow 2 Pro with the AR tracking module. It works perfect and looks a little bit more interesting to see movement in the image. And then you can tell me what you think, what kind of image you like the most. We're also going to do some recording now. It's a little bit darker and dull now, and we're going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to set the camera to exactly the same 4K 30, and we're going to do exactly the same adjustment. I will probably do some footage in flat and C, but I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I want you to tell me what's the best action camera for 2025. Soon they're going to be release new action cameras from DJI, probably the Action 6. We will see how good that is. And probably Insta360 will come up with something. So let's begin, do some recording, and you can see the clips from earlier today. I'm going to mix in some clips from now, and you can tell me what you think, which are the best cameras for 2025. It's not easy to pick, I know that, and it's more or less impossible to pick a winner. So what do you think? Is DJI better or is Insta360 better? Tell me what you think. So it's always fun to do this, and people are asking me all the time what my opinion is. And I do think it's really difficult to tell you what you should buy. It all depends on your preference. So let's begin.
The sunset in my hands, to feel the glow of a light that never ends. I thought my answer would finally come, but there it goes. Getting lost is how I found my home in the great unknown. It took a while, but now I know my greatest dreams are beyond control. Life begins in the letting go. I thought I needed a name to behold, and I'd be happy when my future was known. Now I sit back and I just watch it unfold, and there I go. Getting lost is how I found my home in the great unknown. It took a while, but now I know my greatest dreams are beyond control. Life begins in the letting go. Found my home in the great unknown. Took a while, but now I know my greatest dreams are beyond control. Life begins in the oh.
So what do you think after looking at the footage from these 4 cameras, the Action 4, the Action 5, the Ace Pro and the Ace Pro 2? Can you see a massive difference? There should be some difference, of course. They have a different color tone, a different look. That's just the way it is. It all depends on preference. For me, it's not easy to choose one over the other. I like them all. 4 of them because of the different look they have, and it all depends on what I'm going to record that day. That's just the way it is. So for me, it's not easy to pick one over the other, but as I said in the beginning, for me it's really important to get the best straight out of the camera, and then I think the Ace Pro 2 for me is a better choice. So if I should buy only one, it would probably now be the Ace Pro 2 over the Action 5 Pro. That doesn't mean that the Action 5 is a bad camera at all. It's excellent. It is. It's a 10-bit camera. It's a solid camera. Excellent quality, good image quality. Just looks good, of course, but straight out of the camera, I do think that the Ace Pro 2 looks a little bit better, and I do like the Leica lens on the Ace Pro 2. It just looks good. That's my opinion, and to get the best overall image, for me it seems like the Ace Pro 2 just deliver a little bit better than the Action 5 Pro. That's just the way it is. That doesn't mean I hate DJI at all. I have everything from DJI. Drone, cameras, Pocket 3, which is my favorite camera, as I said in the beginning. Just excellent quality products. Sometimes they miss, of course, with the camera release. That's just the way it is. So it all depends on what you like. But this is the flat color profile, so you can see how that looks compared to the other footage. So I'm gonna wrap up the video now. Tell me what you think, and do you like the tracking with the Flow 2 Pro using an action camera? I think it looks kind of cool, and it gives you a different look, a different dynamic in the footage. So give me a thumb up, and of course subscribe, and if there's anything else you want to see, please let me know. And as always, I see you in the next one. Bye.